Hi everyone. So I have Charlotte napping back here, so if at any time I go and grab her or whatever, that's what I'm doing. But um, I am I gotta get this video out and you might see dogs walking by. I haven't done a video since Charlotte was 2 weeks old, and there's so many reasons why. One of the main things is just me. I've just been having a really tough time, and I've made this video. I've probably done it about once every 2 weeks, and then I end up deleting it because I end up thinking, well, it's been this long, who cares? No one's going to want to watch this video. No one's been asking. I have had one person that's probably asked me how I'm doing, but people probably don't really care. But when it comes down to it, this is real, this is what it is, and I don't see a lot of these type of videos out after you have a baby. And I was quite shocked when I started to feel this way. Just given my history. So Charlotte is going to be 3 months old on November 1st, which is when, well, depending on when I put this up, she'll be 12 weeks, or she'll be a little bit under 12 weeks. So, all right, let's start from the beginning. Hopefully this isn't a long video. Around 4 weeks postpartum, my husband had like a party for his work, and kids were invited and everything, and we were going to like this campground, and we were gonna they were celebrating this thing for work, so I decided to go. And prior to going there that day when I was getting ready, I started to feel weird. I am insecure person, or I've always been very insecure about the way I look, insecure about my body, insecure about everything you can imagine. I was teased a lot as a kid for being tall, for not wearing certain things. But as I've gotten older, and now I'm going to be 32 or 33 in January, I have just been more accepting of my body, more accepting of the way I look and all this. Especially being with someone that really makes me feel good about my appearance. But I was having a really difficult time with my postpartum body. I thought that I was disgusting, that, like everybody after you have a baby, your body does not look the same. Your clothes pre-pregnancy don't work. When you were pregnant don't work. And then after you have a baby, you're like, oh, I just want something new. I want to wear something, because I've been wearing this for my entire pregnancy. So to wrap that day up, I was bad. I cried a lot. I was like, I hate the way I look. And I know this is so stupid to even have these thoughts. These are all real things. And that's what kickstarted my thoughts on that something might have been actually wrong with me, because I hadn't had these feelings in such a long time. Like, me and my husband have been together for 7 years this December. We've been married for 5. And I would have to say for the past 6 years, I've been pretty confident in myself. I'd make comments here and there or whatever, but nothing like I was when I was in high school, or even just like straight out of high school. So this was weird for me, and I thought, wow, maybe it's just, crazy hormones, and I'll be fine. Because with Weston, I had baby blues. I didn't have postpartum. Mind you, I only had one child, but I didn't have that. So, and you guys know from my video that I had posted, Weston was still being great, and even to this day, he's been fantastic with his sister. He doesn't hit her. He doesn't, he's not jealous of her. He obviously has little things with me and my husband, but he's been really, really good with her. So I was just, well, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? So that day happened. It's fine. And then as the weeks progressed after that, I just started to feel worse and worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where I thought, this is all in my head. It's not postpartum depression. It's nothing that I have to worry about. I'm completely fine, and it's going to go away. Well, it kept getting worse, and it kept getting worse. And I never once clarify, I've never once had thoughts of harming myself or my children, not for 1 second. That has never been anything in my mind. But I'm going to be totally honest with you in this video because people need to know this. People need to know that this actually happens. People don't talk enough about postpartum. They do not. They expect that you have a child and that's it. Your life is amazing. And why would you ever be depressed? Especially in the mommy TTC community, because people struggle for so long that if we were to ever talk about this, a lot of us talk about it, you almost feel guilty. And that's a lot of the reason why I haven't actually talked about it. There's one girl on my Facebook, one girl that I've talked to this about. You know who you are. She's the only one that I've talked to about it because she was open about it on Facebook. And she got really good, feedback and stuff. But I was just like, I was kind of caught off guard by it. I didn't think it was going to happen to me because it didn't happen with Weston. So, like I said, as the weeks progressed, it got worse and worse. And I felt like I was spiraling out of control. The only way that I could describe it was, it felt as if, when you jump into a deep end, and I had a pool as a child, so I always remember this happening to me. You jump in the deep end, you go right to the bottom, like touch the bottom with your feet, and you're swimming back up, and you think you're at the top of the water, especially if you can open your eyes. You think you're at the top, you go reach your arm up, like everyone does when you get out of the water, and it's not there. And so you kind of have a tiny bit of a panic because you might have let out a lot of the breath that you've had, and you have this panic, and so you're struggling to get to the top. When you get to the top, you go okay. That's kind of like how I've been feeling, like I'm trying to get out of the water and I'm about to drown and I'm panicking. I've had a few days where I would just all of a sudden feel like I couldn't breathe, where it just felt like I was gonna die, like I was having a panic attack. And I've had these in the past when I've had my vertigo spells, because vertigo is very scary and you kind of go into a flight or fight mode, and I remember having these, but it was associated with something. And now when they were happening this time, they weren't associated with any physical thing that was happening to me, so it was freaking me out. And I would only get little ones where they would be 30 to 40 seconds where I would just be like I'd just start breathing like that, like hyperventilating, and then I was fine. And this progressed to where I would have actually nervous breakdowns or panic attacks or whatever, anxiety attacks on the phone with someone. I did it with my mom. She was out in Europe and I called her and I was hysterical. Like, what is my life? What am I doing? I don't understand what's happening. I can't do this anymore. And I will tell you guys how having a newborn and a toddler somewhat had to do with this, but it somewhat had to do with me personally. And I'll tell you that in a minute. So I would have these attacks where I would just freak out and I would be hysterical to someone that I would trust, like my mother, my husband, my best friend. I would just tell all this stuff to, and I would be so incredibly vulnerable in the situation because I didn't know what was happening, and I would cry and cry and cry, and I'd say, there's something wrong with me, this isn't me, I want to leave, I don't want to do this anymore, I can't do this anymore, I feel like I'm trapped, blah 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 blah. And it was so real in the moment, and it was so raw that I thought, I'm not making this up. This isn't all in my head. Something is wrong with me and I need to find help because I don't know what I'm going to do. Why do I feel this way? Why does it feel like I can't handle just tiny, tiny things like getting ready? I didn't get ready for weeks. Just finding the small amount of energy to cook, but I'm not tired. Trying to find, happiness in small things, little things that were happening right in front of me, that were funny, that were happy, that were enjoyable. Why couldn't I find happiness in that? So this happened a couple more times where I would, break down and I would cry and I would essentially feel like I was losing my mind. So, my mom started to say, maybe you need to, this isn't normal, this isn't you, maybe you need to look into talking to your doctor. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking medication, I'm breastfeeding, I can't do it. Even if I can't take something while I'm breastfeeding, I don't want to do it. There's got to be something else. So I am now almost 12 weeks postpartum. And we went back home. We went back home to visit family and for 2 weeks. And if you guys know, we live in California near San Francisco, and we flew all the way out to, if you are familiar with the area, Windsor, Ontario, and like the Toronto area. And it was insane, to say the least. Prior to this, Weston had started preschool in September, the beginning of September. He got a cold, and that essentially lasted until we went away. And then he got another cold, and then he got another cold. So the kid's been sick pretty much his entire time in preschool, which I know is totally common. So dealing with that and having to have him home with me while I'm caring for Charlotte, and then going home and dealing with all of that, and that was just a complete shit show. We have family in 2 different cities, and they're about 3 to 4 hours away. So that's really difficult, traveling with an almost 3-year-old and a new baby. Not fun. You know, babies are very good with transitions at small ages and, you know, just dealing with time changes and everything. She was perfect, but it was still stressful on us. That's a lot of packing, unpacking, all that stuff. So when we got back, I again felt the same way I felt prior to leaving, because as it was coming up to me going back home, I started to feel better, and I thought it was, I'm getting better, this is great. But it was just, I was excited to meet my family again, for my baby to meet, for my family to meet Charlotte, and to see Weston again, because I hadn't seen him in so long. And I was excited for all these things to happen. But I didn't realize that what I was experiencing was just a small glimpse of happiness, and once I returned home, I was going to be completely depressed and back to where I was. Now, I know in normal depressive behavior, nothing can cure it, nothing can make it better. So I know I'm not in that spectrum of postpartum depression, but there is something that I'm dealing with. I'm having a very hard time being able to separate myself, mommy self, from my normal self, and I dealt with this with Weston, but I got over it very quickly. This time around, it's very, very hard for me. And it has taken me on this roller coaster, and it's made me, you know, have a lot of realizations and a lot of thoughts on who I am as a person, as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as a friend, as a whoever. I'm really coming to terms with this side of myself. But this is very real. This is very difficult. I have not been on my social media a lot, especially my YouTube, Facebook, as I call it. I never go on there. I might go on there maybe once a week and I'll like something, or maybe twice a week. I just don't have the time to vent out what I feel if I can't give it back, because I know I've seen some people have posted things about, you know, people saying, you know, you only want attention, but you're not willing to like support other people and stuff. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be someone that I can be a friend to you and you be a friend to me. But I've been dealing with this, and I haven't even wanted to reach out to even some of my friends that I have in my real life and talk about this, because either I don't want them to know that this is what happens, or I'm ashamed of it, or I don't want to burden another person with my problems. And this has been how it's been for me for the past, 6 weeks. It's very hard. It's very hard. Now that Weston is entering into terrible threes, which, let me tell you, it is very difficult. 3-year-olds, which I know I don't fully have a 3-year-old yet, but they're very, very, very determined little children. They have a mind of their own, which is amazing. They have their own view on things and they want to do everything themselves and all that. And sometimes it's very strenuous on myself, or on a parent, a mother, a stay-at-home mom. Weston does go to preschool 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and those are my days where I can get my sanity back, where I can feel like I'm a person again. And I feel bad saying that, but it's very draining to have, I don't know how mothers do it that have kids staying at home until they go to school. Maybe your kid's different. I don't know, but it's difficult, and I'm doing it alone. You know, my husband works. I can't tell him that he has to stay home every day when I'm having a bad day. I have no family here. The friends that I do have either have children or have very busy lives, and I can't be depending on all these people. I have to do it by myself, and coming to the fact that I have to do this by myself was very hard for me. You know, they say that thing, well, you know, it takes a village to raise a child or a family or whatever, and I think it's totally true. I think that that's how having a child should be. That is something that should happen. People should always be around their family. If you are around your family, you don't take advantage of it, and they tell you that they want to help you, please take the help. Because I wish that I would have a night that I could spend with my husband. It was our 5-year anniversary on October 16th, and we were able to go out for lunch, but with Charlotte. So I don't get a moment with my husband. There's certain aspects of a relationship that get, put back on the back burner, which thankfully I am with someone that is perfect for those situations because he's very understanding. He's completely and utterly supportive of everything that I am going through. I have talked about possibly taking medication or getting help to help me on the days that Weston is home, because when I will get into Charlotte, she's a very needy baby. So I cannot get a second with Weston when she's with us, because she always wants to be attached to someone or myself. So it's been hard. It's been very hard. I have almost every day I feel like I want to cry, and it's not because I can't handle things. It's just that I feel like I'm drowning sometimes. And all you moms out there have this feeling, and it's crazy that you have this vision of your life, or you have your vision of how your kids are going to be or how you are as a mother, but you're constantly judging yourself. Now, I'm not one of those moms that looks at another mom and says, oh, they have a perfect life, why am I not like this? I never do that. I don't know about anybody else, but I really value what I do, what I can do as a mother. I don't judge other moms for what they can and can't do. I don't think that one thing is better than the other. As long as you're keeping your child safe, loved, and fed, what's the problem, And I think we need to support each other. Not that we don't, but I think we need to have light to this. Just like there needs to be more focus on infertility and people sharing their stories. The postpartum part of pregnancy or having a baby is one of the hardest parts. There is no guidebook. There is nothing in the world that can prepare you for how you're going to feel, how you're going to react, how you're going to be, what you're going to say after you have children. And you have a vision of what type of mother you are, and then you become maybe something that you didn't think you were, better or good. We need to shed more light on this, and like I said, I wasn't going to do it. I thought that it was, who's going to want to hear this story? Who's going to want to hear me complain? Because as the weeks are going by, I'm slowly starting to feel better. I had a very hard time connecting with Charlotte after she was born. You guys know I had that very quick delivery, and for some reason, because of that, I had a very hard time connecting with her when it came to just bonding, because it was all of a sudden she was here. I didn't have that moment of like, it comes out, there's this instant amount of love. Even though I did love her with Weston when he came out, I was so overwhelmed with this emotion that I remember thinking when I had her, why am I not feeling this right away? What's happening? Now I love her just as much as I love Weston. My children are everything to me. But that was a big struggle for me, and I remember really fighting with it with myself for weeks and weeks. That, something's wrong with me. Why don't I feel this way towards my child? Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And now that it's like it's getting stronger and stronger, it's making more sense to me. I feared that I was going to lose her in the pregnancy just from having the blighted ovum and dealing with the miscarriage. I had fears of losing her, and I had this thought that when she comes, I was going to be, feeling a certain way. And when she came and I didn't feel that way, right away, it just really upset me. And I know that affected my postpartum a lot. And I've had the greatest support from so many people in my life. I couldn't even explain to you how amazing it is to have a mother and sisters, and my best friend back home and my husband have been 100% by far the best support system that I could have asked for. And if you have someone in your life that you know is going to support you and you know is going to be with you through this type of experience in your life, keep those people close and tell them how you're feeling, even if they don't understand. Especially women that have had children, they understand because they've been through it, and it's so hard. Sometimes I feel like I just need to leave. Like, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go. And, I never would leave, and I never would give up what I have in my life because I'm so incredibly lucky to be able to have this life. But these are real thoughts, and these are real things that happen in your life after you have a baby. And or when you have more than one child too. I mean, that's something that I never thought that I would ever experience, is feeling like I'm not enough for both children. And then I can't give one what I want to give the other at this moment. Weston does take the back burner a lot to Mom. I can't do everything for him because I have to tend to her. So I have had conversations in the last 2 days, just the last 2 days, that have really made myself clear of that I can't be perfect. I can't be expected to do it all, and that I have to give myself more credit for what I can do in this moment. And just be more present, be more involved as much as I can, even if it's just reading an extra book at night, or if it's talking to Weston on the way home from driving home from preschool instead of just being silent because I'm worried about the fact that when I get home I'm going to have to cook dinner. Or just not cooking dinner and picking something up because I'm not perfect. And so that's what's been going on. In terms of Charlotte, she is doing fantastic. She sleeps from about 9 at night till maybe between 3 and 5 in the morning, and then I nurse her and she goes back down. She has had 2 colds since being born because Weston's been sick, but breast milk is making it a-okay and not too bad, which has been fantastic. She's going through a growth spurt right now. She has been sleeping a lot during the day, which is very abnormal for her. She usually will sleep for 30 minutes every 2 hours, and sometimes she won't sleep for like 4 hours. And we thought that was why she was sleeping so much at night. But the last 2 days she's been doing this where she naps for more than half an hour, and it's great. I actually get to do my hair and makeup because she was really making it difficult for me to even get ready, even do anything during the day, go anywhere, because she would want me to hold her most of the time. So she's doing really great. Her appointment at 7.5 weeks, I think it was, she was 11 pounds and 13 ounces. So now that she's almost 12, I would say that she's probably around 14 pounds, maybe more. She definitely feels like she's heavy. I'm starting to get more back pain because, like with Weston, when his weight shifted, when there would be a significant weight gain, I would feel it in my body, just from picking him up. So she's been doing great. She coos all the time. I got her to giggle last week, which was amazing. She fits into size 1 diapers. She's starting to wake up. Size 1 diapers, and she also is in 3 to 6 month clothing, some 6 month, but we're definitely all out of the newborn and all that stuff, which she did actually wear for quite some time. way longer than Weston, but she was also 2 pounds smaller than him, which I can't believe. 2 pounds. It's crazy. Well, actually, I guess it's a little bit under 2 pounds, but still, she is, if her eyes change, I will be so surprised. Her eyes continually get lighter blue. I can't even believe that I'm going to have a blue-eyed kid. Weston's are so brown. Mine are hazel to green, and Evan's are completely brown. I do have blue on my side, and he has blue on his side. And her hair is funny. It came in. I'll go get her. Hold on. What's the matter? What? Oh, honey, it's okay. Oh, it's alright. Don't be sad. Don't be sad. Okay. Oh, this is what she does when she wakes up sometimes. I don't know if it's because she doesn't want to wake up, if she's waking up from a dream. It's alright. It's alright. But yeah, she does do this. She's in black, all black today. I didn't mean to put her in it, but I just changed her clothes before she went to sleep. It's okay. Maybe she didn't want to wake up. She's like, you don't wake me up, mommy. So yeah, so she's been a pretty good baby, but despite the fact that she just really loves to be held, I mean, I don't mind. I really don't. It's, you know, it's not a burden to me to have to hold her, but when you're trying to get things done or you're trying to play, I'm trying to play with Weston, it's kind of difficult. But yeah, she's a good little baby. So with me, with like body and all that kind of stuff, I've only lost 14 pounds. It's just not coming off the same way it did with Weston. I gave myself a year with Weston, and, you know, if it doesn't come off right away, I don't care. I actually like my postpartum body more than I do my pre-pregnancy body. Just because I have more value to my body now. It's different. And like I said, that's why that situation that I had where I was just feeling so completely down about the way I looked was very bizarre for me, because I haven't felt like that in such a long time. And now when I look at myself, I'm just like, you know, I carried 2 babies in my body. Like, I value every mark, every piece of cellulite that I have. It's what it is. And I enjoy my eating life and my indulging and whatnot. So I'm doing okay in that area. I am trying to, like, you know, just lose a couple pounds just to be more healthier. But yeah, I've been doing pretty good with that. So we're still working with Weston, and he's a little bit angrier than usual lately. The kid has been getting quite a bit of ear infections every time he has a cold, so that could have a lot to do with it too. But like I said, I just wanted to finally share this with you guys. It needed to be done. It needed to be said. I needed to share this with you guys and just do it. That's why I'm not going to edit this video. It's okay. It's alright. And just kind of get it out there for you guys. She did have a little, she was wearing this little red shirt, but for a nap I took it off of her. So, you want to say hello, or are you just being stinky right now? So this is her. She's a big girl compared to before, but if you look at her face, she looks so much like Weston with the chubby cheeks and all. But she's a good baby. It's okay, honey. Don't worry. I probably should give her some milk. She probably wants to go back to sleep. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. And as you can see, she has this hair back here. It's like she's going to have a mullet for sure. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. And hopefully you'll see me for another update. And yeah, let's just, not that we're not supporting each other, but let's talk about this more. Talk about your postpartum down below. Tell me, like, what happened with you and how you got through it. The good thing is when you have a second one and you've got through the first one, you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and if you need help with medication, if you need help with counseling, whatever, I say go get it. And, you know, I'm going to see how I'm going to feel these next few weeks since we just got back from, like, you know, going home and it was so crazy. I'm going to see how I feel for the next 2 weeks. And if I still feel the same way that I felt, you know, 3 days ago, I'm going to talk to my doctor. But yeah, so I love you guys. I hope that everyone's doing really well, and I will see you for my next video.